In this short video, we're going to be looking at DIV Style Container tool. First of all, to use the tool, we select the paragraphs we would like to use for the container. Once we have them selected, we then click on the Container tool. The dialog window then appears. The first thing we do is we choose the style color. And this could be, as a default, a gray background, or we can match the theme that we currently have applied using a light or dark version of it. You can use a white background or a user-defined. User-defined means when we select this, we then get to choose the background color that we would like to use. What I'm going to be using is a light version of the theme color that I have applied to this lesson. So I'll select that. And notice how it grays out the background color and also the border color. We then can even put in a background image, or we can choose the number of columns we would like our content to display in. I'm going to let this first example be just one column. I'm going to have rounded corners around the edges of this container. I'll let all of the defaults occur for this container. So I'll click OK. I'll then click outside of the selected text, and there we have our container. Let's now see the way it would look to our students. So I'll preview this. I'll then navigate to the page that contains the container, and there it appears. Now notice it does occupy the full width of my screen. If I would remove the sidebar, it again occupies the entire width of our screen. Let's modify the way this can appear. So I'm going to close my browser tab and come back into SoftChalk Create. I'll then right mouse click in this container and choose Edit. What I'm going to do is change the margin. The margins will affect the outside edges of our container. If I would like to change all of the margin sizes to the same width, we just type in one value. I'm going to make this quite large, so I'm going to make it 50 pixels, px. I then click OK, and you'll notice how everything has moved in. Well, let's see the way it actually will look to our students. So we'll preview it, navigate to the page, and you'll notice now it is indented from both the left and the right-hand sides of the edge of our screen. If we remove the sidebar again, we see the indentions again from the left and the right, and actually even from the top and the bottom. I'll close that, come back into SoftChalk Create. Let's make another change. Notice how the text does reach the edge of our container. I'm going to edit this again, and this time I'm going to change the padding. The padding is the amount of space we're going to leave inside of our container. Once again, I'm going to make this quite large so we can see what the changes are. I'm going to make this 75 pixels. And when I again enter a single value, it changes the top, the right, the bottom, and the left-hand dimensions. I'll click OK, and we really can see the change right now. Let's preview this and navigate to the page. We can really see the spacing, the padding inside of that container. Let's close this, come back into SoftChalk Create. Let's make a couple other changes just to see the effects that they might have. Sometimes we may want to change the spacing, whether it be our padding inside or the margins outside, but we would like to have different values for each one of the four sides: top, right, bottom, and left. We can do that by right mouse clicking and editing this container. To change the margins and use different values on each side, we would then click inside the margin area. First, we're going to put in a value for our top. I'm going to let this be 20 pixels. We put in a space. Then we go to the right-hand margin. I'm going to let this be 100 pixels. Then we use the bottom. I'll let this be 10 pixels, and then I'll put in the left-hand side that I'll let be 50 pixels. To remember the different order or the order for the dimensions, you can just roll over this question mark and it will show you the values and their positions. Again, it's top, right, bottom, left. Let's click OK. Remember, I did not change the padding, the amount of space inside. I only changed the margins. Let's preview this. We'll navigate to the page once again. And notice the amount of space we now have from the left-hand edge, the top, the right, and also the bottom. We could do the same thing with our padding if we would like. So we have a lot of flexibility in how we want this container to appear. Sometimes we may want the container to fill in all the way to the edge of the screen on the right-hand side, and we can do that pretty easily. I'm going to close my browser, modify this container once more, and I'm going to change my right margin. Remember, that's the second value. Rather than a positive 100, I'm going to make it a negative 100. And that's going to push that container to the right edge of our screen. I'll click OK. Let's preview it, navigate to the page, and even if we remove the sidebar, the right-hand side does go to the edge of the screen. It gives us a different effect to really draw attention to the selected paragraphs we put within that container. That's it for this first dive into our div or styling container. Thank you.